Hello, sports fan. This is Steven here for Sports Choice Plus, and I'm going to be covering did the Atlanta Falcons get this one wrong? Before I get right into that, I want to make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel so you can get all the updates and all the breakdowns. Without further ado, let's get right into it. With the 8th overall pick in this year's NFL draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Michael Penix Jr. When the words came off of Commissioner Goodell's lips, I was confused, I was baffled. There's several holes that need to be filled on the Atlanta Falcons, from defensive end, corner, wide receiver, a little bit of offensive line. You had a lot of premium players at that 8 spot. From the standpoint of having almost your pick of anybody, was off the board at that point. A couple of the quarterbacks were off the board at that point, but then you got to see, okay, Falcons are doing this. Falcons just gave Kirk Cousins 4 years, $180 million. That was considered the biggest catch on the free agent market. That was considered the GOAT as far as what was out there available. And, now we're looking at the Atlanta Falcons trying to figure out what's the plan. Because not only is Kirk Cousins the now, but Penix is going to be your future. Kirk Cousins' camp came out and made it known that they didn't get a heads up about this, which is kind of strange. If you're on board with Kirk Cousins and he's your guy, there should be an understanding that, hey, this is what we're doing. There was an understanding that Kirk Cousins thought the draft pick that they were taking was going to instantly improve the team this year, meaning it wasn't going to be a pick that needed to sit. So Michael Penix Jr. can't sit at the same time as he plays with Kirk Cousins. So you got to keep in mind, this is going to be tough for the Atlanta Falcons because you're going to have to convince a fan base that doesn't trust you already that this is the best move for the future. Terry Fontenot talked about how this is going to be the future of the team and this is going to be this and the third. But everybody was looking for a pick, either defensive end, possibly a corner, possibly a wide receiver. Those were the things that we thought were going to happen in real time. But what the Atlanta Falcons did, they threw a monkey wrench into not only the draft, but they kind of changed the trajectory of a lot of different teams. I know Penix rose to stardom, and took Washington to a national championship where they did eventually lose. But you got to think, is what you saw on tape enough to where you can sign Kirk Cousins, have him sit, and this be your future right now? Did defensive end just disappear? Did they not see defensive end needed a need? The Atlanta Falcons made a bad pick. This is going to be a bad pick. I don't care how Penix seems right now. I don't think Michael Penix is going to be worth this high of a pick. And you got to think, you went offense the last couple of years. You can't stop anybody on defense still. You have that glaring hole at defensive end. You have that glaring hole at cornerback. You have the glaring hole on the offensive line, but you chose a quarterback in the first round. A defense that struggled to get pressure on the quarterback when they didn't have Grady Jarrett. A team that struggled once their corners went down and they didn't have protection on the edge. And then you also have to keep in mind, you could have went linebacker. You could have went outside linebacker, inside linebacker. You could have potentially went defensive end, defensive tackle. I would have been comfortable if you made a pick on defense, but you chose to take Penix. This by far was the worst pick of the draft. I know there was a couple of other stretches, but this right here was the worst pick because you had other needs, and quarterback was not really a need. I could technically argue with you the quarterbacks coming out next year potentially would have more value than what we have right now at Penix's spot. Not talking about Caleb, not talking about Drake, not talking about Daniels, but you're talking about a reach at number 8 for a quarterback in the top 10 that necessarily wasn't a top 10 talent. So what this leads me to believe is the Atlanta Falcons don't really have a plan. If they do have a plan, this felt forced, like someone forced this play. So it remains the same. You're going to have to wait 3 or 4 years to see what this pick looks like, because if Kirk Cousins doesn't deliver and y'all don't make the playoffs this year, you're going to be in the same spot yet next year. Are you going to give Penix a chance this year if Kirk Cousins struggles? I doubt it. Because your $100 million man is guaranteed, I think, to a lot of that money. A lot of it was a signing bonus that he signed. So, you Atlanta Falcons fans, get in the comment section. Tell me what you think. All you other NFL teams, get in the comment section below. Tell me what you think. What do you think about the NFL draft. Go ahead and chime in. Let your voice be heard. We'll definitely chat back with you on the Sports Choice Plus YouTube chat line.